Hey guys, so I had a few questions about stats, editor, and whatnot, and specifically a question about the drowning effect, which is when you go into too deep of water, you start sucking down water and you receive damage from lack of oxygen, damage per turn essentially. So you receive damage while you're down here. The most important thing is that you're actually slowed um, and that you can't dodge, but you also receive damage while you're underwater and too deep of water, I should say. So the way I did that is in Stats Editor, and there's a couple of things that both require scripting and a couple other things here. So first things first, I wanted to do a status damage, and I've already got some here for you to look at, and the drowning one is specifically is right here, and I named it drowning in all caps for me to know, and it's for Game Master. I put yes and all that stuff. The initiate combat doesn't really matter. It shouldn't. The display name is drowning, just how it is, and then you have a description. So that's what you put down for that. When you hover over that little icon, this shows up. It's damage, and I used a suffocating icon, and I just looked through other damage statuses to see which one fits the best. And suffocating, I thought, is essentially drowning. So stat icons, suffocating. So this is really important that it's lowercase stat, and then icons is uppercase I underscore whatever you want the icon to be. This is important because otherwise it won't show up. I don't know how to import my own icons. I just found the one that I like best and did that. So don't ask me how to do that because I don't know. And then you just choose a color, and then here are the effects that you could put on. I use the suffocating status. You could also look up your own effects, and the way to do that is through your root template manager, I think, and you could look up effects and what they do. You could also layer on multiple effects. So if I wanted to have a suffocating in freezing cold water, see that colon right there? You just add another one, and then colon status effects, dummy status effects there, and it's an overlay. So the effect will overlay, and I can actually apply it to the body. So it overlays the body when you were drowning. And then there's a couple others that I have here that I clicked yes and no, all that stuff. Stats ID and stack ID, need to fill those out. So capital S on stats, capital D on drowning, and same with stack ID. It's stack, not stats here. So stack on this side and drowning on that. I don't know if you guys could see it. I hope you can. And it's going to happen on turn, and it's going to be damage, drowning. Death type. Oof, I hate it when it does that. DOT is what I called it, or what I have it. So I don't remember what DOT stands for. Death on touch. I don't know. I have no idea. But there's different kinds of death. You could explode from drowning. You could have an acid, electrocution. I think DOT or physical. Physical, you'll just bleed out, which is weird. So I think DOT fits if I do that. So damage characters, yes, it does damage. Does it damage items? No, it doesn't. Damage torches? No. Permanent on touch or permanent on torch? No. And does it scale with vitality? I put no, but maybe I should change it to yes. It's up to you. I didn't see too much of a difference, so I put no on there. The next thing you got to do is add it to the potion. So here's my stats drowning. When I have that stats ID, this is where you're going to put that. And let me look. And we'll just scroll all the way through and we'll see what I have filled out for that. I don't know if I have anything. aside from the icon. Stat icon suffocating. Fill that out. And the rest is blank. So there are some things that I have like things up here. So for instance, I wonder why slow is something entirely different. I apologize. I was wondering where the slow is, but it's not here. So frostbite, let's look at frostbite. The strength is reduced. Your finesse is reduced because you're suffering some frostbite. And if we scroll over here, your fire resistance goes up. Water resistance goes down. Air resistance goes down. Poison resistance goes up. Pierce resistance goes up. Physical resistance, blunt stuff, goes down because you shatter under frostbite. And your movement speed goes down as well. So this is like an all-in-one slow effect. You get slowed down while you're in frostbite. And the duration is 2. If it was something that was cast on you, it would last 2 turns. It could also be indefinite, which is -1. If you notice over here, I have bonus things, and these are indefinite boosts in later in the game. And damage type is water for frostbite. And I chose fitting icon, and that's that for that. So my drowning is really it's basic. I also have hindered right up here. And all that is I wanted to add some difficult terrain, so it just negates your finesse by 2, and -10 on sneaking, and your movement and movement speed is in the negatives while you're in that difficult terrain. All right, so this is one part of the stats. The next part of the stats is actually in the script. You know what? I'm not going to save because I don't know what I did. All right. Let me load up the script editor. And if I can remember where it is. Which I don't remember. Maybe it's in the bridge. No, it's not. Oh, I think it's actually under dying. Yes. Okay. That was my descriptor for things that will make you dead. So let's see here. There's an infected and slow effect. I have an infected effect, status effect. Let's see here. If I could go check out bleeding, infected. Did I pass it? Oh, here's drowning. Okay, I apologize about that. So what I did on top of that was I actually do have a trigger. So you don't just enter water and start drowning. You actually enter a trigger that I've placed under the water at a certain elevation. So once you enter that trigger, when your feet touch the trigger area, that's when the trigger initiates. And you got to be really careful about that. It's when the feet touch. So when the feet touch that trigger area, then you're going to get slowed indefinitely. You're going to apply drowning indefinitely. And I say the player says glub 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 because that's kind of an identifier that you're drowning. If the character has left that trigger, remove status, slowed, and drowning, and that's that. That's all there is to it. And that's the scripting part. There is very much to that, to be honest. So when you design, see there's a trigger down here. I can't select it quite right now because it's all underwater. Let's see if I could. Oh, that's an AI. I don't remember where that trigger is, but it's around here somewhere. Maybe even under the ground here. There's the event trigger right there. I don't know if I could select it. It might be locked right now, but it's a big box trigger, and I just dropped it down, so it's anywhere where it's deep enough in here. You if you walk around, you start drowning. So reload stats. No. When you start walking around, you start getting slowed, and your damage starts to appear. So here it is. Oh, you know what? I think I did an overlay on this. So you start taking damage. I didn't have it so you're bleeding, and in certain areas, her head's above the water. So it's kind of you take some playing around, but eventually, in certain areas you're fine, but you got to be really careful about how you want to do that. But that's it. That's all you do. Okay.